Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Coffee Jolt with Johnny Cleveland. It is a Monday morning. Need a little bit of an extra coffee jolt. Coming to you a little bit later this morning because it's a Monday. Here's to a great Monday and a great week ahead. Happy 4th of July week. It's going to be one grand party, right, folks? Some good coffee there. If you're a Cleveland fan, Browns fan, Guards fan, Cavs fan, you've come to the right place. Now, this is primarily a Browns podcast. We're part of Fans First Sports Network. We are the Fanatical Elves. Not a lot of Browns news right now. We've talked endlessly about Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb's return. But we're waiting for Greenbrier and the Brownies to head that direction. I am going to be having a new show here on the Fanatical Elves. We're going to look back at, historically speaking, is going to be the new name of the podcast. And we're going to look back at the history of the Brownies in different facets. And so we've got a new series coming on where we're going to review some of the best Browns players since their return in 1999 after that short hiatus when they got stolen by the Baltimore Ratbirds. Anyway, we're going to be talking about that on another podcast coming up very soon. Actually, later today, we're going to be posting that. So, it's a Monday. We're waking up. There isn't a lot of Brownie news. Now, there are some things going on with the Guards and with the Cavaliers. The Cavs, with the NBA, they've opened their free agency. Let me get another jolt of my coffee. All eyes are on the Cavs. And when is Donovan Mitchell going to re-sign? And why hasn't he signed already? There are various opinions on that. Some are waiting to see if the Cavs sign anybody of any significance in free agency, which at this point, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. A lot of the colleagues of mine who I write for with King James Gospel are talking about various things. Paul George, who's with the LA Clippers, he has signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. There's been a few signings this morning. I was trying to pull up my phone here to grab a few. I took a few photos here and highlights of some of those. We've got Isaiah Hardinson, the center who used to play for the Cavs, who's decent. I'm not going to say, he was great. He wasn't great when he was here, and some Cavs fans thought, well, maybe they would help bring him back. That would be another guy to bring off the bench to play in the big position behind Mobley and behind Allen. Or if maybe Allen got moved, which isn't going to happen. I think the Cavs stick with their core four, which I want them to do. I think it's in their best interest to do that. But why Mitchell has not signed? Some are waiting to see kind of what happens with Mobley and some things, and there's rumors out there that Mitchell is really trying to put pressure on the Cavs to sign a big name free agent, which there aren't a lot left out there. Chris Paul got signed to go. Where did he end up going? He signed with somebody yesterday. But you've got a couple other kids that have gone to, let's see, we had another guy that went over to Chicago. I know the Cavs, some Cavs fans were kind of hoping for that. Let me pull that up real quick. Last name was Josh Smith, maybe? Let's see, it was his name. Yeah, free agent center Jalen Smith signed with the Bulls, and so some folks are really getting, looking at the Bulls. They're building up. The Oklahoma Thunder again signed Hardinson. Right now, the Thunder are looking pretty strong. They got that Alex Caruso, who's decent guard. Kid can shoot the ball. I'm not going to say but he's not like over the moon fantastic. So none of these moves that these other teams are doing they're good moves for these other teams, but the Cavs aren't in position to just go out and get a bunch of free agents right now. They've got their core. They've got a group. Now, where this team goes, if they stick with their group, what will that look like? Will they get very far or further than they did this past year with Kenny Atkinson now as their head coach? I certainly think that you got to give Kenny Atkinson an opportunity. We're going to give him that opportunity with the 5-year deal that he signed. I've already talked about this, and I think that Kenny Atkinson is going to do amazing things. Unlike JB Bickerstaff, good riddance. The Pistons, who are a dysfunctional organization, signed JB as their head coach. Good luck with that, Pistons fans. I know some of you Cavs fans think that that's JB did wonders here. He did not. He was an idiot, and I'll continue to say that until the day I die. So there's some Cavs news. The Guards news is that the Guards are struggling. If you're a Cleveland fan, you've been watching the last weekend. It was hard to watch, was it not? They lost 3 or 4 out there in Kansas City. Not a good way to roll through the weekend. Now they've got the Chicago White Sox coming to town starting tomorrow, and they have the Minnesota Twins starting to get hot on their heels. They're only 6 games back right now, or maybe it's 5. I think it's 6, which is a good lead. But again, if the Indians are really struggling, the Guards are really struggling with their pitching. They're not getting solid pitching. Tristan McKenzie was sent down to AAA, see if he can get things worked out. But right, it was not what Guards players and the team and the fans needed. Watching them really struggle over the weekend. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully some home cooking and getting back here to the old Jake will help this team immensely. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Bobby Bonilla. You guys are going, who the hell is Bobby Bonilla? If you're a young fan, you're like, I've never heard of Bobby Bonilla. Or maybe you have if you're an older guy like me. Today is Bobby Bonilla Day, and I want to give a shout out to him because Bobby Bonilla made this amazing deal with the New York Mets back in the day. And between 2011 and 2035, he's getting paid on this day, July 1st, $1.19 million until that contract runs out. What a great opportunity for that guy. Bobby Bonilla used to play again for the Mets. He played for the Pirates with Barry Bonds back in the day, and got to see them play a couple times when they would come down to the Cincinnati Reds, and they would stay at the hotels that sometimes we would stay at, and had an opportunity to chat with Bobby Bonilla after a game one time, and very nice guy. He'd hit a home run earlier in the day, and I made some offhand funny comment about it. Oh boy, you hit that ball real far. He hit a home run. I'm like, dude, of course he did. So it was kind of a funny moment. He chuckled, and it was kind of neat that got an autograph from him that day. And by the way, there are other players that are getting still paid by their teams too. For example, the Washington Nationals are still paying Max Scherzer $15 million a year. Ken Griffey Jr. Just received his last payment of $3.5 million when he used to play for the Reds, so he was still getting paid. And Manny Ramirez, the great Cleveland Indian, is still getting paid $1.96 million a year by the Boston Red Sox. So there you go. So it's not just Bobby Bonilla Day, but you could also say it's Manny Ramirez Day, which it's kind of a running joke, though, with Bobby Bonilla. So congratulations to Bobby Bonilla to continually get his $1 million salary from the Mets. The Mets. That's all we got today. I hope that you have a very good rest of your Monday. And tune in later for this Historically Speaking podcast we're going to run on some of the Browns' top 10 players since their return in 99. You got to catch that. It'll be a lot of fun talking about some of those past players. We got a whole lineup of shows coming up this week on the Fanatical Elves. Make sure also that you are tuning into all those and downloading those shows. All you got to do is get on Apple, get on Spotify, get on iHeartRadio, follow us, subscribe to us. We also need you to start subscribing to us on YouTube so you don't miss anything. And so when those shows come on your phone, they'll pop up and you'll never miss a beat. We're going to pause here real quick for a quick break. This is the Fanatical Elves Network. Before we leave you, we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Oh, I stopped on the number 13. Never want to do that. So we got all these shows coming up. Lou Marconi had his Burning River Browns talk this morning. Hope you listened to that. We've got Noah Olson with his East Bank Sports Show coming up this afternoon. This evening, he's got that coming, and then he's got another show coming up, I think, tomorrow. We're going to be doing the Fanatical Elves show a day early. We usually do that show on Thursdays. We're going to do it Wednesday since the 4th of July is Thursday, and many of you will probably be out watching fireworks and whatnot, but we want you to listen to our fireworks on our Fanatical Elves show, so we'll bring that to you Wednesday night. Steve Guild continues to do his Dog Pound South show. Hope you caught that. If you didn't, his show came out yesterday. Jarrell Flint with the dog radio programming, Sam with his Browns breakdowns, and of course Rod Bloom with the Browns Blitz. Make sure to tune into all of those. You won't miss them if you are, again, downloading us, following us on Apple. All right, go Browns, go Cleveland. Take care, everybody. Happy Monday.